Static here.
It's also very muted. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. Is it? I don't know if
Welcome to
static's on
Dungeon
my
Not
end or-
Included. I don't know whose static that was.
Let's try muting everyone one at a time. This is actual play, actual production. Oh. Rebel.
Oh, I think it's the fan on your computer.
I can't really do anything about that.
Our biggest fan.
Nice.
No, I just I just got out of a game, so that's probably why the fan was going so hard. It was like,
Ooh.
So much role playing happening. Man, we need to calm cool
a
things
video
down.
game is what I meant. So
Never.
What kind of game is that? Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't
tabletop
exist.
simulator. Got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
All right,
exactly.
The games exist outside of the theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, shockingly.
I want to pants Alex, even though I agree. All right, let's do our intro.
Sure. Welcome to Dungeon Not Included. We are playing Katanas and Trenchcoats this week.
I'm glad to be back at it. It's been a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whose fault was that?
Yeah.
Statistically, mostly yours,
Yes.
Alex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some for good and some for not. What? Oh, that's a lot of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's me. Although I did just see a shadow on me. What's that? Oh, it's the
That's
camera room.
strange.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. And you know what? You'll get
All
your
our
money
sound
back.
issues. Right.
For those of you who are-
Yeah. This is why they pay us the big bucks.
So I don't know where we left off. And that would be true even if it had been 1 week since we played.
Last we left, we had leveled up. I remember that we had gone through, not leveled up, but gone through like the reset.
End of session stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did we dip into our wells of solace and all that stuff, or
We did
whatever
talk
that's
about
called?
that.
Yeah. I'm looking at. Let me check my. Let me check my Numa. If I have 1, then I didn't do it.
So you have 11. It looks
I have
like.
11, so we definitely did stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
Yeah,
this
everybody's
book?
Numa is kind of refreshed. So yeah, there you go.
Did we do anything beyond now that we've cleared out the vampire from that area? I know that I think we talked about the idea that there might be a power vacuum now that needs to be dealt with. And I don't know if I don't know if we've had a follow-up address to death coming for me and
Yes.
Pickle, and I don't know. I feel like we were also setting up stuff with Frank's bling more.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think
I feel
is all true.
But I don't know the order of events or if any of those were even from the last one or the last couple. So
we talked about it, but we haven't like set any of it up in
okay,
the
cool.
Yeah. So post vampire troubles, what is it y'all are doing and where are you going?
Well, with the vampire out of the way, I need to make sure that the bar can get back up and running.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
I'm probably not at the bar. I'm probably at City Hall trying to get the charges removed if I have to. I mean, I wasn't under arrest as far as I know. They can't prove that I broke out the menagerie people.
Mhm.
Right. There's no hard evidence.
I mean, who knows how many people with robot legs there are in this city? You know what I'm saying?
So just because this is how my ADD brain works, like
Sure.
my brain went with like, could Skip be a lawyer to go in to help figure the situation out? And then it went to looking at my stat sheet, which brought to okay, well I have I have great cunning but terrible sway, and then I was thinking, do I know how I get sway up? And then I went to, I should ask Brennan, how do I get these stats up? Because I don't think we've done that.
Your stats don't really change.
Okay, that answers that question.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean,
so
characters are the things that will change are things like your Wellspring of Solace and your
yes, totally
all
fair.
right.
So long way to say no, Skip shouldn't go in as a lawyer in this situation
With
to
one
help figure out-
sway.
with one sway. Cunning I can do, sway I can't, and I feel like that's trying to use legal powers that I don't have is not going to help if I don't have sway.
Yeah, and Roxy's actually not bad at that stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, I should actually love to see Roxy go in and pretend to be a
Attorney at law.
lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, or even better, Roxy actually has a degree, but chose to go do other stuff instead with their
Right.
life. That would also be an interesting backstory piece.
This is one of those moments I deeply regret that I didn't give myself sway so I could be unfrozen caveman lawyer. It would be amazing, but unfortunately, we'll not go down that route. Is it fair to ask? Well, let's skip off of Roxy for a bit and skip what, other than the unfinished business, what would you want to do next? In your thing?
So I think that what I would like to do is Skip Hat really has two choices now in this narrative. It's either solve the unfinished business or figure out how to stop the guy who's hunting me, right? Like it's either either solve the business and disappear or find purpose in existence as I am and put off that. But the only way to do that is to get rid of my tail, which I think is actually more interesting and fun, is how do we defeat death?
Right.
I love that. I almost, and I may be overdoing it, I'm probably overplaying this or metaing this. I almost want to see you attempt to solve the unfinished business for a time and then decide, you know what? The unfinished business is the friends we made along the way. I'm not doing this.
Well, so that's there,
Which
but
kind of
also
is maybe the first arc. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I will say this, while that is there and that has crossed my mind, I think that the factor that needs to go into this is I'm way more into revenge fantasy for harming Pickle than I am into solving that piece. Like to give
that.
in, I don't want to give in to this guy at all. I think I might have been more tempted to had he not harmed my dog, but since he did, I feel like I'm way more. I think this is more Skip's not heel turn, but his turn from passive to active in his own life. I think
we don't want to over meta this, but it would be very interesting to find out this is your unfinished business. Was the first time you died was because someone messed with you.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. That's a spicy meatball. I don't know what.
That was Alex, I think.
Was that me?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. It goes away very quickly. I'm gonna be quick on the mute next time and see if I can figure out which one of us is probably haunted. That's what that sounds. We're not cutting it out of the podcast.
You're not. You're saying that you're saying that the ghost detective isn't our prime suspect here.
Well, he's definitely.
I just don't know right out there. Rebel and I are both using the exact same headset, so if anything's haunted, it's probably
Nintendo products in general.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
And we just lost that sponsorship. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know how many people probably died trying to beat a level in like Mario or something? Like,
it's true. There's blood on their hands.
Yeah. It's like
how many times has Mario died? I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's honestly, you're probably right. It's probably Mario haunting Nintendo.
The ghosts of 1,000 Marios.
Yeah.
I love that lore, actually. They most recently manifested themselves into Chris Pratt and made $1 billion.
Yeah. Oh,
but the hard bargain is he had to dethrone his other movie.
Yes.
Which was at the time making. What was it? No, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians is out.
Yeah, that's right.
Chris Pratt beat Chris Pratt in a Pratt off.
Yeah, a Pratt off.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I think, are we going to? Well, since we've discussed this now, Frank, where do you want Adam to kind of? Since we kind of touched a little bit on motivations for R2, what's Adam's motivation going into this next little bit?
I think this is probably the first time in a long while that Adam has had a found family, and he just wants to support everyone and be loved and love them. But since everybody has their driving purposes that don't really involve Adam directly, I think he might end up being left behind in some way, which is pretty typical for him. And I think it would be nice to see that happen.
Or for the power of friendship to break that cycle.
Or that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Not just writing sad things on index cards. It could be happy things.
Right. Okay. So we'll deal with the menagerie first. It seems like a good initial scene.
All right.
Roxy, you're actually probably best at dealing with this legal tangle out of all of the protagonists here on account of you have a 2 cunning and a 2 sway.
That's true. I thought Skip had a better cunning than I do.
The math is the same, but I think for the cunning is there, which I think would help me with any sort of a lot of the non-verbally stuff that I might have to do to get around stuff. But I feel like if I'm trying to convince somebody to make a direct choice, that's sway. If I'm trying to get them to do something that isn't the norm of what they're trying to do, right? Or am I thinking of cunning incorrectly? Because I guess you could argue that if you're cunning, you can get people to do stuff. I don't know.
I could see, actually, Roxy, I could actually see you arguing tenacity and sway.
Yes, I would love it to be Tenacity and Sway, just to wade through all the bureaucratic
Bureaucracy. Yeah.
Love that.
bullshit to get to what I need to do. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I'll
do it.
roll them bones. How many dice are you rolling?
I will roll 3 dice for this.
All right. Oh, gotta change my color.
Me too. Usually green.
That's 1 success.
Bureaucracy gets no successes.
Hooray! Finally!
A sentence never once uttered before.
You know this game is fictional because I beat bureaucracy.
Yeah, seriously, so good.
Yeah.
You roll in, and mysteriously, there's no record of any arrests at the menagerie.
Is that the darkest cosmos, or is that something else?
But now I'm
Um,
equipped with this information.
But you know that the people there know what happened, right?
Mhm.
You could tell
Gotcha.
that they know there was an attack on the police, and they probably know that you were responsible, but somebody has made this go away.
I don't trust like that. I will keep this in my back pocket for now. But Roxy will go bring the wonderful news to Big Bertha and the rest of the menagerie and tell them that they can relocate to the bar.
Yeah, from your safe house or wherever you had stashed them after you broke them out from the cops.
Woo!
All right. So, yeah, so you have a home base again.
Excellent, excellent. We love to hear it.
There is some rumblings that there's going to be some infighting among the various gangs of the city to see who's top dog now that
Lots of
they're no
street
longer
racing.
united. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
in our future.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
that's how they handle this is a race off.
Yeah. Well, how else would you handle it?
That's right. Whoever's got the fastest cars clearly is the best suited for leadership.
That's right. That's how it works
Mhm.
on the mean streets of darkest Vancouver.
I keep saying Toronto.
It is
I
not
know you do.
Toronto. It is
It's
in
Vancouver.
fact Vancouver.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's Vancouver, but like the TV show for this game would have been shot in Toronto.
In Toronto. But they call it Vancouver.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Canadians are like, you know that's
Mhm.
Toronto right there. Yeah, that's Toronto.
Well, it's like every show that's like that's filmed in supposed to be in Boston, and it's like stock footage of like 3 landmarks, and then the rest of it's definitely Chicago or LA. Like when
Yeah.
they're so where or it's like all the palm trees in The Office.
Yes.
Yeah, on the show The Office is like whenever they're
Scranton,
driving, they go by
PA.
palm trees. And, Scranton, notorious for its palm trees.
All right. So yeah, so there's the rumblings that there's going to be a big race held in the next few days. All the different gangs are going to be there. Roxy, are you planning on going and trying to participate?
Well, I definitely don't want people to think that we're cowards who wouldn't show up. So, I will certainly go to represent us, but I don't really think the menagerie has any interest in like ruling darkest Vancouver.
No, but you could prove that you could.
Exactly. That's correct. It's important, that these people know not to fuck with us because we are the top dogs. We just choose not to oppress anybody, like a good gang.
or govern.
That's what I said. Oppress, govern. No, just kidding.
You're in a narco-syndicalist gang. Alex, so what is your thinking on this whole situation with this mysterious death?
So I think that we kind of talked about it a minute ago. I think that Skip has decided that there's really two paths before him. It's either solve his unfinished business as this death person wants him to do, or figure out how to stop this death person in general and to leave him alone. And I think that old Skip, before this crew, would have beelined it towards every windmill in the area to try and solve their unfinished business out of fear. But after hanging with this crew, I think they are willing to put their unfinished business on to the side so they can A, help their friends out, and B, get this bastard for hurting Pickle. So I think that Skip's next thing is, after he sits down and has this little heart-to-heart with Pickle, explaining to it, he's going to talk to Adam. And so, Adam, you've been around for a long time, right?
Yeah, too long.
It seems like when we've run into a lot of people who are scary, you may have met them like once or twice, and they don't remember meeting you, but you definitely seem to remember having like seen this person or heard of this person. Didn't that happen with? I think that happened with the vampire and the person who we fought in the very beginning, where you recognized them, but they have no idea who you were.
Yeah, it happened a lot, but I got one of those faces people don't remember.
Yeah. So here's my thing. They may not remember you, but you seem to have a fairly strong memory when you meet these people or see these people. Is there someone in your past who we might be able to meet up with who can help us figure out how to stop death or the Grim Reaper, or figure out who this guy is who hurt Pickle? Because I think that I know that I don't know anybody in this sort of immortal mystical realm, but you're the closest thing I have to a liaison. So I was wondering if maybe you could dig deep and try and think of somebody who might be able to help us.
Yeah, I mean, I know some young guys who don't die sometimes, so yeah, I can find out some people. Question for you, Skip. Don't you want to finish your unfinished business instead? Huh?
I mean, I do want to finish my unfinished business. I would like to know how and why I died, and because that has affected me and my family a lot. But also, screw the guy who hurt my dog.
I agree with that, but I
can do the other one later. It's been it's been 60 plus years or whatever timeline we established. I can wait a little longer.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds not like deflecting. Let's do your thing. I go talk to some whippersnapper I know who've been experimenting. We call him Alchemist.
Very cool.
No, he's pretty lame. Hey, quick question, Skip, about Roxy.
Yes.
They're these people. They look like they want to do racing for the town, which is you know, it's a way to decide things, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, the menagerie doesn't want to become leaders. I don't know what Rory thinks about that, and I
That's
don't
that.
think Roxy asked me. Oh,
Rory-
she's listening.
Oh, she's listening.
Oh.
Listening.
Sorry, I thought I heard you say that you had a question for Roxy.
No, I'm
Skip
talking about
is-
Roxy, but that's fine. That's fine.
Skip
You
is
can
mother
definitely-
henning about you and your family still, and he's
Mhm.
talking to Skip. No, not Skip. I mean,
Adam
is
is
talking to
Mother
Skip.
Mother
Henning.
Henning.
Yeah.
I mean, siblings, they should talk.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. I talk to my sister as much as I can.
Yeah, and probably the other ones before they all died.
It's very true.
Yeah. How did they all die? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
But I wandered a while before I found my sister, and by the time I found her, she's hasn't always, you've seen her. She's not. She's there, but she's not always there.
Right.
And certain subjects are harder for her to talk about, and she, I don't like to use the word she spirals, but she definitely gets more confused when brought it up, which is also a big part of the reason why it's hard for me to figure out how to move on, because these conversations are one she doesn't really have well.
Right. And other siblings, you've never seen them in the
No,
afterlife?
No, not at all. I know they have passed. I've seen their headstones, but I haven't found too much. And the newspaper clippings about their, teens die mysteriously, still a cold case. It's the mysteriously is the big part of the headline, and for a reason. They don't have an answer.
You think if you move on, you see them again?
Oh, I have no idea. I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I would like to bring myself and my sister some peace of mind. I think that's really what it comes down to at the end. But yeah. And in all fairness, we've established too that I don't 100% know that is my unfinished business. I'm assuming that's my unfinished business. My dog I'm following Pickle to my unfinished business, and Pickle has brought me to a lot of places that aren't a library to research what happened to my family. They brought me to a lot of places that aren't where it happened. Right. So it's not as straightforward, I don't think, as if I solve my own death, I go. It could be.
Right.
But I don't know.
Right. Just one last thing. You think maybe Pickle dumb? And I rub Pickle by the ear.
And Pickle's got that big dumb dog smile. It's entirely possible, but I think Pickle's a good girl. So I think that, or good boy. Did we ever establish good boy, good girl?
Pickle has been a boy so far.
Okay, so he's a Pickle. I think he's a good boy, and I think he's doing his best, and that's all I can ask of my eternal companion, ghost dog friend.
Right. Okay, well, I'm game to help if I am helping.
Oh my gosh, what if it's not my unfinished business? What if it's Pickle's unfinished business and I'm just being dragged along?
Pickle's trying to find a bone he buried. Your bone.
What
your
if you're just
femur,
taking me to all the bones? I'm just being brought to every bone he ever buried. It's just a coincidence. There's one underneath the menagerie.
Oh, Lord.
Love it. So yeah, Adam is curious about afterlife and people passing. He knows there's been a lot of people he's known who's died over the years, so he's being very insensitive and drilling. But Skip seems to be okay with it, so he's taking advantage. But yeah.
Okay. So did you want to talk to Roxy about all of this, Adam?
No.
Or Rory?
Rory. I'm not going to overstep yet. I'm not going to overstep yet. It's enough to introduce it that I am a busybody right now. But I will allow whatever happens to happen, including if nothing happens.
Adam.
It's just he feels too much.
You know, it's I understand it. You know, when you live for as long as Adam does, I'm sure that the relationship dynamics, you're like, oh, I've seen it a million times. I know everything.
Yeah.
He
It's
does
like
not know everything.
No, it's like getting parenting advice from a grandparent or something. It's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but not applicable in all cases, and also stay in your lane,
Yes,
even if they may be right more
exactly.
than not. Yeah.
Listen, just because he's right doesn't mean that like Roxy
should-
appreciates him butting in.
Exactly. Yeah. You could be right and be wrong in the way you handle it. And he
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. So, yeah, so the big day is coming up, Roxy. What are you doing to prepare?
Well, I'm definitely tuning up all my vehicles. Roller skates first, obviously. But
Sure.
I'm gonna make sure that no matter what I use, it's in top form. And even if I am not the one who ends up driving it, it will still work to my specifications.
Cool. Yeah, so Rory's going to come up to you.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to say, here's what I think about the race. I think you should let me drive. This is important.
Yeah, it's definitely important, and I'm glad that you want to get involved. How about this? If you drive, I'm in the passenger seat.
She says, why do you always have to watch over me like that?
Listen, it's not going to be forever. I just, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. It's not you. I'm worried about, like, literally 3 days ago, a semi rolled over my car and crushed the hood. That wasn't my fault. It was the semi driver's fault. But if that happens, I want to be there with you, you know?
All right. So I think you need to convince Rory to do that. This is a good idea.
Yeah. I don't really feel like this is cunning. Probably potency and sway. You know?
Yeah, cunning doesn't sound quite right. I could see tenacity again, actually, because you won't give up.
Yeah. Then tenacity and sway once more.
Once more into
Here
the
we
breach.
go.
I'm rolling 4 dice.
I got 2 successes on 5 dice.
Okay. I got 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the way this is going to turn out is neither one of you gets exactly what you wanted. So.
Right.
She says, well, if you just don't trust me to drive, maybe I shouldn't do it at all.
That's not what I said, Rory. I'm happy with you driving. I think you're going to be great. I just think that, like, having someone in the car to, say, do repairs on the fly would be helpful.
She's like, well, You get to say because you're the boss, but I think I could probably do it on my own. So
Look,
she agrees to let you ride,
mhm.
but isn't happy about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she'd ever be happy about it. So
Totally
this
fair.
is about as good as I'm gonna get.
Can I ask
So,
a out of
Adam.
game question
Yeah, sure.
for Roxy for Roxy or Rebel as Roxy?
Mhm.
Maybe I'm forgetting or maybe I'm just questioning the motivation here. Is Roxy as of now the de facto leader of it, or is it a leaderless group? The group.
I mean, if anyone's the leader, it's probably Big Bertha, but Roxy, yeah. Roxy
so
is not in a leadership role. Roxy like does maintenance on the like
Vehicles.
yeah,
vehicles and equipment, and how people perceive uh Zer because of that is up to them. But
sure. So I guess my question is, in these race situations, like
Mhm.
in your head canon, does Roxy take it upon herself to volunteer, being like, well, I'm going to be the writer for Big Bertha's group, or is there multiple people for Big Bertha's group writing right now, or are you just like the right hand to Bertha? Bertha can't drive, so you're the driver in these races for region, because it seems like you've made the decision that your group doesn't govern and isn't going to govern, which is a big decision for you to be making if you're not Bertha. You know what I mean?
Well, like when I talk about the menagerie not wanting to govern, that's because I, Rebel, have made the vibes of this group.
Yes.
It's not really Roxy's decision. It's my decision as the player.
Sure.
So, I don't think that's not to say that Roxy doesn't have a say, but Roxy doesn't have like is not I'm not thinking of Roxy as being like either the leader or the right hand man. I just think that Roxy is a part
As a
of the
respected
group.
member of the crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And because Roxy definitely is coming off as you definitely have the agenda of we don't want someone else in charge, because then there would be this governance that we don't want to deal with, right? That's why we're having this race, is for the power balance. So I just didn't know if this was something that you were put up to, or is it something that just like assume like, oh, this race is coming up, I better get my ass out there because I know that's the job that I've given myself, or the job that's been given to me, is kind of what I was wondering about. Just because I think that's an interesting dynamic either way.
Well, Roxy, how I've always envisioned Roxy's role in the group is that Z is like sort of an enforcer, in that Z goes out, patrols the streets, tries to protect people as best as he can, enforces territory. They're on the front lines, basically.
Cool.
So that's sort of why I was envisioning Roxy as being like one of the people who would do a race like this, because that's part of their job, is like, okay, the gangs of the city are establishing rules. I have to be there to show them this far and no further, right?
Sure. Yeah, that makes total sense. And now I'm questioning in my head, what's Rory's motivation, right? Too, because does Rory have the same? Yeah, but
sibling rivalry is just sibling, not even rivalry, just tension, right?
Sure, but also we know from the very first beginning of this arc that Rory is dabbling with their own place and power in this. That's why they got in trouble in the first place. So is Rory asking to take the wheel here an extension of that same piece? And do they have different machinations and feelings of how the the group should work, then Roxy, the enforcer who has been unwavering, has been feeling. That's all. This is fun. Just playing it in my head. And I was just getting Roxy's side helping me play with that more.
Also interested to find that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Rory is going to drive. Roxy's going to ride shotgun in the upcoming race. Adam, you observed this conversation.
Such a creep.
Oh my god.
Such a creep. He is.
Well, it wasn't exactly private, so yeah.
He's happy that they're going to be in the car together. This isn't a sitcom, so I'm not going to sabotage the car so that they have something to talk about. But very close. I'm thinking about it. So like I've got the jawbone of the ass, and I'm like, nah, too much. I put it in my backpack. Okay. I'm gonna throw an uncomfortable bone to the drama for Darkest Vancouver. I'm gonna go up to Rory and say, Rory, we don't know each other well. You kidnapped me. I killed your god or something. Water under bridge, it happened. But take it from me, a near stranger. Your sibling means well and is not exactly who you picture in your brain. You know?
She kind of looks at you irritatedly and says, yeah, all you've done so far is come in and wreck all of my plans.
Yes. Take it as a compliment.
Right. So I'm not sure why I should be taking advice from you, Adam.
Oh, 'cause you kind of have bad plans.
She says,
good luck in race.
Good luck in race. Yeah. Peace.
This is always, I'm always saying this. This is how you get teenagers to listen to you. Is you tell them, first of all, hey, we don't know each other, but here's what I think about your whole thing. And
here's how you're
secondly,
wrong.
all your plans are dumb and they suck and they're bad. Bye.
Did Adam pull out a chair and spin it around the wrong way before they had this conversation?
Just straddle the back of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I definitely sat in the chair the wrong way.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
It's gonna be fun seeing how this goes.
Yeah, Rory is just like shaking her head as we leave.
I'm probably going over to Roxy and we're having like a wordless conversation, but generally like good vibes. And,
right.
And she's watching all this going, fucking, who is this guy?
All right, Skip, are you going to do anything on the eve of this contest?
Skip is sabotaging the car.
No. Actually, I think that Skip is going to talk to Roxy and just kind of walk up with it like, all right, what do you need me to do? Assuming that there's probably not a lot for Skip to do here.
Roxy.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Oh, I think Skip Skip's going to approach. The last couple of times he's been in the car with you, he's found himself doing ghoulish magic in order to assist. But that was a very different circumstances than this. This is a like Pointed Pride Street race, not a get these bad guys off my tail kind of thing. So I think Skip's going to offer whatever help he can give, and he wants to be helpful, but he doesn't know what that looks like in this situation. So So he says, "So Roxy, what can I do to help you? I don't know if you need me to scare some people again, or if you need me to mess with anybody's cars. What can I do to help?"
Roxy, just imagine like Roxy on one of those like mechanics, like when the mechanic's working under the car.
Under the car, yeah, yep.
Skateboard thing, and
Mhm.
and Z rolls out from underneath and points the wrench at you and says, "Look, I really appreciate all your help when we were being chased by those guys, but this is like an honor thing. If I get some ghost magic involved in this, it's over for the menagerie. We're out. So it's really important that everything is above board, no sabotage."
Perfect. I hear you.
It depends on the day, but we tend not to do sabotage.
All right. So, what Skip hears from that is it's now Skip and Pickle's job to investigate to make sure that no one else is trying to sabotage and stop any particular groups that might be trying to cheat.
That's great, and that's going to totally backfire.
That's
I love
actually
it.
amazing.
I feel like in this world, everybody but the menagerie is probably trying to find a way to cheat. Like, this is Wacky Racers.
Yeah.
But with the menagerie being like, the one without any sort of like craziness going on. So that's going to be my thing is we're going to zip around and start investigating cars to see if they've been messed with.
That's wonderful. I love that.
Yeah.
So you're investigating the menagerie's cars?
No, I would like to use it. Well, depends on how much time we have and how quick we want to do this race. Because I can even do this as we can even like fast forward this. I would like that the other racers the other teams are all trying to find ways to cheat, and I want to sabotage their sabotages to make it so that this works out properly.
That it's a straight race.
Yes. So like if somebody's putting like grease in their car to like press a button and it falls out on the road and makes somebody does a spin out like in a cartoon, I want to fill it with like with confetti or something. Like I want all of all the booby traps to be fun traps instead.
The world's goofiest poltergeist.
Yes, I would like to bring some childhood whimsy from my I don't think I play enough into the fact that he's a kid. So I would like to cartoon this if I can. I want to Hanna-Barbera this or Hanna-Barbera.
Okay. So I think that's cunning.
Oh, I got to bring up the rolling thing, huh? It's probably roll.
Yeah. Do you need a link? Well, it's in the.
It's at the top of the thing, so it should be fine. I just got to remember how to change the color of my die, so that they come
cunning
up.
and proud seems like the likely thing that this is.
Yes, I think that's exactly what I will do. Is
you're playing into your strengths here.
Yeah, and that would for me, for those playing at home, my cunning is 3 and my shroud is 3, so I'm rolling 6 going into this.
I'm rolling 5 dice.
You're rolling 5 dice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick in 2 Numa just to bring it up to 7 because I want to make sure this goes well. I'm gonna make my dice.
Your ambit.
I forget what my is. My ambit's. What is my?
It's
ambit?
like helping people.
Where did I? Hold on. I can bring up my. It's on my character. Not my character sheet. My splat book, right? The list of ambits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually not copied over. Let me.
Yeah. Features and ambits. Working to uncover mysteries and the unanswered.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, because they're trying to keep these things hidden.
Yeah, sure. Then I'm going to uncover their BS. I think it's the way we're gonna to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna use 2 of my things. I'm gonna go 7d10 on this roll.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make my dice. Let's make them lavender. All right, here we go. That's 3 successes.
3 successes. And I
To your
got
2
1
success.
success.
1 success. 1 success.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, all of the other gangs are doing stuff to cheat, essentially.
Mhm.
Boo.
And you've figured out, yeah, the grease trap is now spraying confetti, and the spikes on the wheels are made out of tin foil, so they'll collapse when they try to.
Yep. Perfect.
That's
The one,
amazing.
the car that had like a. I'm trying to think of like what's some wacky racer stuff. Like someone has a car full of like angry dogs that can like bark at someone, so they have like I've satiated them all with steaks. You know, like all those sort of cartoony.
So they're all happy and sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the what's some other good ones? Like the I've removed all of the stilt wheels that they can use to get over buildings and stuff that's in their way. You know, all the Inspector Gadget style, like car extends up. Yeah, I've done all of that. It's all gone.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you get some. You do some serious sabotage of the enemy's plans.
That
All right.
Do a street
Race day is here.
Woo!
So I'm going to have you roll, Roxy, for support of Rory.
Well, yes, my car thing works through mechanics, so the fact that I worked on the car is totally counts.
Right.
Cunning and forge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's 5 dice. Let's see. This is my little sister, so I am going to spend from my family Numa pool to make that, take that from 5 dice to 6.
Nice.
And this is in my ambit, which is, you know, high action, combustion, you know, kind of explosive excitement. So it's only 2 Numa cost to make that a 6.
Okay. This is pretty dramatic, so I'm going to say this is 7 dice on my part.
Okay. All right. Hold on. What colors have everybody
I've been using green.
Okay.
I used lavender.
Yeah. What about you, Frank? Frank?
I actually do not know. I don't think I've rolled anything yet. So
All right, then
use red.
I'll go orange.
Oh, I'm a liar. I was using blue. Okay.
2 successes.
Okay. Ooh, I got 3.
Oh my God, those
Jerk.
10s.
But they don't explode, so
Yeah.
it's not a extraordinary succce. So
One point still stands.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
Who's your main rival? Still the cleaners?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Tusk is there. He's driving for his crew. What does it look like as the race gets set up?
I presume we're all lined up on a street, like a really
it's like
wide
2 a.m,
street.
so it's
This is normally like a 6-lane street, but we're as in 3 one way, 3 the other way, but we're taking up all of the lanes with the cars.
Yeah. And then one of the people from one of the gangs does the flag, so that you all take off. Rory's doing well at first, but Tusk is driving really aggressively, and it looks like Rory gets a little intimidated as that happens. There are a number of dirty tricks that are attempted to be deployed that don't work.
Yeah.
Like confetti gets strewn on the road.
I should get advantage for taking out all the dirty tricks.
Yeah. Well, I do. In fairness, I feel like if this was actually playing out, right, there would be points where you're getting yourself right behind a car in a situation where they're going to want to do something to stop you, and that no longer works. So I feel like that is an advantage going into these situations, right? Because they're going to be off their game because of what we did. They're not.
I agree with that. I think you can roll one more die.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Is not a success.
No.
It turns out all the people Skip sabotage were people who had like oil cans and ridiculous spring-loaded traps, and they were not a threat.
Or you now have confetti on your windshield they can't see.
Right.
Also good.
Yeah. Thanks, Skip.
But it comes down to Rory and Tusk as you're coming into the finish line. Everybody else has fallen behind, and Tusk basically maneuvers his car in front of Rory, making Rory flinch, and Tusk makes it over the finish line first. Rory, gets really mad and bangs on the steering wheel and opens the door and slams it and sort of stomps off.
Honestly, well, Roxy's gonna get out and go after her, of course.
Okay.
Because basically just to make sure that she doesn't do anything really stupid while she's angry.
Yeah.
Get herself into trouble.
She's not. She's sort of standing to the side. Very angry. She's got her back to you.
You want to talk about it, or you want to be mad?
I just want to be mad.
All right.
All right.
I think I got a box of old light bulbs. You want to go smash them with a bat?
She's like, yeah.
Aw.
Oh, I love that.
I'm sorry that I didn't make it.
Look, honestly, this is your first race and you came in second? That's pretty damn good. And
she says, yeah, but Tusk won.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Tusk is a sock-headed moron, and just about the only thing he's good at is racing. So, if you were up against him in any other kind of contest, you would have wiped the floor with him.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. She's still got her back to you, and you can see that she kind of wiping her face a little bit, and then she turns around and says, all right. Well, I'll beat him next time.
That's my girl. And Roxy will throw a shoulder or an arm around her shoulders and say,
even though she's taller than you. Yeah.
well, sure, it's like this, but
right,
I'm the big sibling. I'm the older sibling, And say, come on, it'll be really funny if we can get Skip to walk out while we're doing it and make him flinch. He's a ghost. He can't get hurt, so.
Right.
Ooh, Adam too.
He's immortal. He can't get hurt.
Exactly.
No, he can get hurt very
Oh, he
badly.
could definitely get hurt for a very long time.
Yeah. He'll be fine.
Oh, I like it. It worked out well. And also we have no power, which feels appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So the cleaners are kind of in charge right now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what Tusk's reign of terror is like.
He's going to be the most efficient ruler. Vancouver's going to go like clockwork.
No, he's probably just going to try and find some other hot vampire lady to boss him around. You know what I'm saying?
He's got a type. I mean, why not?
I feel like hot vampire lady is everybody's type. That's not really...
Indeed.
Yeah.
I also like the
Special.
fact that we called him Tusk before we realized he'd have a tooth fetish.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Goodbye,
That's
everyone.
fun.
That's the podcast. See you next time. Hey there, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Dungeon Not Included. If you did, please tell a friend and leave us a 5-star review and encouraging comments on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. It really does help spread the word for new shows like ours. You can follow the latest from the Dungeon Not Included crew on Twitter at DNI Crew, and over at Facebook at Dungeon Not Included, or at our home on the Non-Productive Network at non-productive.com/DNI Crew, where you can find articles, character sheets, and Patreon exclusives, as well as our latest episodes. Thanks!